Harper Audio presents What I Had Before I Had You, a novel by Sarah Cornwell, performed by Karen White. 1. The first time I see my sisters, I am 15 years old. It is June, and the ocean is just warm enough for swimming. I'm floating on my back out past the farthest buoy. If I turn my head, I can see the beach, glutted with tourists, rising above and dipping below each wave swell. The world appears and vanishes, is and isn't, is and isn't. Sometimes the lifeguard is sitting, and sometimes he is standing up on his white wooden tower, shading his eyes. The closest swimmers are some 40 yards off, a few old ladies doing the crawl, their crepe paper elbows rising and falling. A wave breaks against my face, and I sputter under the water, come up coughing. Yards away from me bob two pale, red-headed girls. For a moment, we watch one another. Our shoulders work as we tread water out of rhythm. They are so familiar. They look like someone I once knew and have forgotten. Their noses are narrow, and their mouths turn down at the corners. Their cheekbones make high planes that hold the sun. At first, I think they are identical, but then I see that they are not, that one is made of sharper angles, and the other has a slightly pouty overbite. Their eyes are green, and though their hair is dark with water, I can see that it is my mother's hair. "Sorry, we didn't see you," calls the sharp-angled girl. Her voice is a buttery alto. "Courtney was splashing me." "That's okay," I say. I kick harder to keep my head above water. I know they are my sisters with a sureness of intuition that I have never felt, but have heard my mother describe all my life, like the sureness of the ground to a falling thing. This is it. My first vision. My birthright. Courtney turns to her sister, and they are caught up in each other. "Race me?" They dive and disappear, and though I watch for them, I do not see them again that day. This is what I think of as I lane weave up the Garden State Parkway in a rented convertible. My sisters in the water that first time. Heat blurs the horizon, where cars become indistinct and then vanish. Ahead, too far to see, Ocean Vista. I am expecting this fate for us, too. When we get close enough, we will flicker and fade. By the time we arrive, we could be totally invisible. Carrie is rhythmically kneeing my seat back to the beat of whatever she's listening to on her iPod. Beside me in the front seat, Daniel sits with his two small hands twined together in his lap, index fingers pressing acupressure points on his inner wrists to stave off car sickness. His father taught him this, and Daniel believes in it so firmly that it works. His eyes are closed, and he looks like a little yogi. I chose the convertible from the rental car menu because I thought it would be fun, but the kids complained until I put the top up. Carrie afraid of messing up her hair, Daniel afraid he would somehow get sucked out of the car. "It's impossible to get sucked out," I tell him. "Gravity holds you in your seat. Otherwise, you'd be floating right now. And you're not, right?" "No," he says, unconvinced. Carrie whispers to him, "That's 'cause the top is up." I try to catch her eye in the rearview mirror. She is wearing giant tortoiseshell sunglasses. She is supposed to help me. Carrie is discovering her power, now that it's just the three of us, and I don't like the devilish tilt of her mouth in the rear view. Who is this spiteful sunglassed person? I've promised the kids a trip to the beach before we continue up to New York, part of a larger campaign of fun detours and ice cream for breakfast, with which I am trying to buy their complicity. I thought I might score points by showing them where I grew up, as if sole custody means that I owe them more explanation, more background, more proof of myself. I thought, we'll buy a box of taffy, we'll chase the waves. It's something I can give them so easily. But
Sample complete. Ready to continue?